Hi everyone, join me today as I paint this cute mushroom house in ink and watercolor. You can find the link to the free traceable sketch reference if you have a look in the description box below. I'll also put the link on the screen now if you want to go to it directly. Today I'm going to be using my Kuretake, Gansai, Tambi, Art Nouveau and Nuance sets. I'm absolutely besotted with the pastel colors that are in these sets for my whimsical houses. And there's also quite a few colors in my original Kuretake set that I might add in as well. And I'm going to be sketching in this square Potentate sketchbook that has got deckled edges to the pages. I am now going to use my Daniel Smith masking fluid that comes in an applicator bottle. I've done a whole video on this masking fluid in its bottle, and I'll put a link to that video in the description box below. I'm going to mask out all of the spots of the mushroom, the butterflies and the flowers. If you haven't got masking fluid, then you'll just paint around these areas when it comes to painting time. And I'm going to make sure that I allow the masking fluid to dry completely before I start my watercolor. I'm going to work on the background first, and to do that I'm going to work wet and wet. I'll use a large brush to put water down all around the background area first, and then I'm going to drop in my green color. I'm not going to list the names of all of the colors that I'm using because it really doesn't matter, and you can use whatever paint set you've got at hand. If you are enjoying this video, I would really appreciate it if you would click the like button. Doing this really helps to build my channel. If you have clicked the like button, you're an absolute rock star. Thank you. And if you are really enjoying this video and you would like to buy me a coffee, the link is in the description box below. I appreciate any and all donations. I would also love to know where in the world you are from. I'm a South African living in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and I've been here for a number of years now. I'd love to know where in the world you are from. Let me know in the comments box below. I'm going to work on the mushroom cap now, and this is where, if you're not using masking fluid, you're going to have to work carefully around the areas that I have masked off. Alternatively, if you just want to paint over the whole thing and then rather come in with something like bleed proof white at the end to do the white spots, you could do that too. In my mind, the light is coming from the top right corner of my painting, so I'm going to do a graded color and have it darker on the bottom left, grading towards a lighter color on the right hand side. Again, you can use any color permutations for your mushroom that you want to. I'm going to let some music play and just paint along with me using whatever colors you wish as we complete the painting of the mushroom. Now I'm going to use a plastic eraser to remove the masking fluid. You could also remove it by rubbing it with your finger. And now I'm going to use some watercolor pencils to add some contrast and embellishments onto my painting. This is entirely optional, and if you haven't got watercolor pencils or pencil crayons, you can also just as easily do what I'm doing with the pencil crayon with watercolor. I'm just wanting to add some contrast, drama, and a little bit of shading, and I find that sometimes with these smaller bits and pieces that I'm doing on the mushroom, it's easier to get to these bits with a sharper pencil, but I could just as easily be doing this with watercolor paint. What you do with your watercolor pencils is you put the color down with your pencil crayon first, and then you activate it with water on your paintbrush. That's when the watercolor in the pencil really comes to life and the contrast is then really revealed. I've got a few videos on watercolor pencils, and I will put the link to the first introductory video on watercolor pencils in the description box below. But you can also have a look at the watercolor pencil process now as I work through it. I'm going to start by putting the pencil crayon down in the areas that I want it. I'll put it a little bit darker in the areas that I want more shading, but I can also do it lightly in areas where I want just a little bit of graded color. And then once I've got all my watercolor pencil down, I'm going to pick up a damp brush and you will see me activate the color with water when it's done. as I add water to the watercolor pencil using a damp but not a wet brush, how the color then really intensifies. This is something that watercolor pencils do that normal pencil crayons don't. I really like the effect that this gives, and it really does add some nice contrast to the shadow areas of the painting that I'm trying to add. So I'm just going to work through all those areas that I've added the watercolor pencil to activate the color throughout. Now I'm going to go back to my watercolor and just add some shadow and darker color where I feel that it needs it. So I'm just going to work through my painting now and just add bits and bobs where I think it needs it. If I think it needs a bit more watercolor, I'll do that. And I also think I want to add some shadow to the rocks on the ground level. Happy with the colors that I've used on the butterflies, so I'm going to use a silver gel pen to try and jazz them up a little bit. I think I should have used colors that were either brighter or lighter. And there's the final sketch. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please hit the like button and let me know what you think in the comments box below. Until the next time, bye for now.